I have a question about pensions and how to evaluate them along with the 4% rule. The example I'm thinking through is this. At first, the pension will cover just about all expenses in retirement. Let's say yearly expenses of 100K per year and a pension of 100K per year for simplicity and not taking taxes or Social Security into account. This starts out great, but the pension doesn't adjust for inflation, so over time, there will need to be a draw from an investment portfolio. I'm trying to figure out how big that starting investment portfolio needs to be to supplement the pension for a safe retirement.
Are you an engineer or just an internist? Because you put a lot of thought into something that I don't think a lot of people think a lot about. It's cool that you'll have a pension. Pension's great. I typically don't try to fold a pension or Social Security into your asset allocation. I think the right way to think about that is to have it subtract from your need for retirement income. So that you need a smaller portfolio because you have a pension or because you have Social Security or whatever, rather than trying to somehow monetize it and calculate its net present value. Obviously, if this pension that you're going to get it does not adjust to inflation, then you're going to need more. Even if you only need to spend $100,000 a year, you're going to need some sort of a portfolio. How much do you need? Well, that's a great question. I think you can calculate that out relatively easily, right? In the first year, you're not going to need anything from the portfolio. The next year, you'll need enough to keep up with inflation. Maybe it's 3 or 4%. So you need that portfolio to provide, $3,000 or $4,000. The year after that, you're going to need the portfolio to provide, $6,000 or $8,000, right? And so you can calculate this out and determine how big of a portfolio you need. I think that's what I would do. I would just assume, a reasonable amount of returns. I tend to use 5% real in my long-term calculations, and you can just add all that up and see what you'd need over 30 years and just run the numbers that way. I don't think I'd try to do what you're doing. No, I think I'd just look at it as a separate amount. Now, the truth is, though, Social Security might rescue you there. It may provide the difference that you will need in addition to that pension. I mean, this is what my parents are doing, right? They've got a pension, they've got Social Security, they've got a nest egg. They're not even spending the stupid nest egg. I'm just taking their RMDs out each year and reinvesting them in taxable. I keep trying to get them to spend more money, they won't spend more money. So I suspect you will end up in a similar situation, living on the pension, living on Social Security, occasionally touching the nest egg, and your heirs will be very thankful. But I think that's the way I would run the numbers if I were going to run them. I think that's the way most financial advisors would run them rather than trying to monetize the pension somehow.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.